All right, what's up? We're here back on Google Plus. We're here to talk about a topic that was brought to my attention today. It was brought to my attention by Black Adam 06. Shout out to all you guys sending me this message. I don't know why you watch the show, but you know, whatever. That's your business. But I guess today on ESPN First Take they had a topic. What would the 2013 Lakers team look like, and how good would they be with Michael Jordan instead of Kobe Bryant? And I'd like to start the conversation by going over a few things. Let me start with the most glaring difference, the most obvious difference between the two teams. They become instantly better defensively. At the age of 34, Michael Jordan was still playing good defense. He put a lot of effort on the defensive end of the court. And I can only name 2 games this year where Kobe played hard defense from beginning to end, and even had lapses in those efforts. And one thing about it is I've talked about how Kobe has been an overrated defender for a long time, because people see him body up an opponent, they see him hack an opponent, they see him get away with things on his defensive side of the court that the opponents don't get away when they're defending Kobe. But I'm starting to accumulate a lot of quotes that back me up. I'm not going to go over those quotes now. I'll be providing them here soon. One is from Phil Jackson that I had Jesse send me. I got some quotes from Tex Winter that Faulkner23 sent me. And these are from the mid-2000s, okay? And we know that Kobe's defense has gotten even worse since then. And when you look at Kobe's defense this year, the way he gets caught sleeping off the ball, some of the errors he makes on the ball, the way he overplays pass lanes, the way he tries to leak out and cherry pick so he can get easy layups in transition, and he just leaves his defensive assignment, the way where if something doesn't go his way on the offensive end, he spends his time arguing with the referee instead of getting back, and they give up a transition bucket. I can go over a myriad of things with Kobe Bryant, how poor he is at closing out on outside jump shooters when they do a catch and shoot, because he plays so far off his assigned man. And they would just improve exponentially with Michael Jordan defensively, and that would be a big help. It would also help keep Dwight Howard out of foul trouble, and you could literally put Michael Jordan on the best opposing player, and he'd be able to do a good job containing them even under these rules, because his lateral movement, his defensive slide, his ability to play pass lanes while still playing in the pocket of his assignment, the whole 9 yards. The Lakers improved defensively. When we look at the offensive end of the court, we look at a guy in Kobe Bryant who likes to do the things with the ball in hand. He likes to bring the ball up the court. He likes to be in control. And we look at a guy, Michael Jordan, who at that stage of his career was playing off the ball. Okay, we're not talking about 87 and 93 Jordan, who was doing a lot of stuff with the ball in hand. We're talking about Michael Jordan, who did everything within the flow of the offense, where he's coming off screens, catch and shoot. Kobe does a little bit of that, but not as much as Michael. He was posting up. Michael Jordan, he didn't look to get the ball in his hands and then just take the play over. There were plays where they looked to Michael Jordan where they would isolate, where he would do that, but it was all within the flow of an offense. Kobe Bryant, on the other hand, does not play well within the flow of an offense. So the thing about Michael Jordan, even though he was aggressive and he would get his shots up, he did it within the flow of an offense, and his teammates wouldn't feel alienated. And that's why he was a great leader. Even though he was aggressive with his scoring, it wasn't in a way that was too far outside of the team offense. And Kobe, he's not good at helping the team chemistry with the way he plays. Now, when we also look at a few other things, okay? People are looking back at the Bulls team with revisionist history. The fact of the matter is, well, before I get to that, let me say this. Let me piggyback on the point I just made. With Michael Jordan playing within the flow of an offense, playing off the ball the way he did, Steve Nash would actually be able to run that offense. Steve Nash is tailor-made to run the D'Antoni system. Steve Nash would be able to run that offense, and Jordan wouldn't be stepping all over his toes like Kobe Bryant does. Now, I got so many points I want to hit on with this. Okay, the revisionist history about the Bulls team. Dennis Rodman was an offensive liability. It's well known Dennis Rodman was showing up to practices and games drunk. You look at Scottie Pippen, who really struggled in the playoffs from 96 through 98. Scottie Pippen missed 59% of his shots from 96 to 98. Okay? And then we look at, when you sit there and you look at the fact that Scottie Pippen missed almost half the season in 98, was having back problems throughout the playoffs in 98. That team was definitely less than full strength, and Michael Jordan still led them to a championship. So there's definitely more talent and more pieces to work with this current Lakers team than there was even with the Bulls in 98. You look at someone like a Steve Kerr coming off the bench. Well, Jody Meeks could be Jordan's Steve Kerr. You look at Ron Artest. You know, he still goes out there and puts the effort in defensively. He's not as good as he used to be defensively, but without a doubt, Ron Artest is the best perimeter defender on that team. Michael Jordan only enhances what Ron Artest does, because now Ron Artest, each game, only has to take the second best perimeter option on the opponent. Pau Gasol. Michael Jordan had a way of being really tough on his teammates, but one thing that people don't understand is Michael Jordan also had a way of making his teammates feel better about themselves. He knew how to play the bad cop really well, and he knew how to play the good cop too. And I think when you look at the way that players, when they played next to Michael Jordan, they raised their level of play, which is the exact opposite of Kobe. Players next to Kobe lower their level of play because they don't feel involved. I think you would see a better Pau Gasol. I also think when you think about some of the mechanics of the way Jordan played, I mean, I could go into so many facets of this discussion. When you look at Michael Jordan getting in the post, drawing a double team, and then you have a Steve Nash cutting from the top of the key for a layup, or Steve Nash cuts from the top of the key, Jordan gives it to him, they collapse on him, he gives it to Dwight Howard on the weak side. The matchup problems that Michael Jordan caused with posting up and causing so many double teams, which he did throughout his entire career, that's a big thing too. And what you've seen with Kobe Bryant a lot this year is teams are not doubling Kobe Bryant. They're trying to let Kobe get his, let's stay home on the other players, and we'll beat him that way. I've noticed that strategy a lot this year. Well, Michael Jordan, you have got no choice but to run double teams at him. The offense becomes better. So I think the Lakers' biggest problem is their perimeter defense. Michael Jordan instantly fixes that. Okay, you're still going to have point guards abusing Steve Nash, but you're not going to have as many different perimeter players abusing the Lakers. Your transition defense becomes better. Your the fluidity of your offense becomes better. The team chemistry becomes better. And people just liked playing next to Michael Jordan for the most part. They just liked playing next to Michael Jordan. And I see the Lakers with Michael Jordan. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind they win a championship hands down. Kobe Bryant killed that team chemistry. A lot of people want to point their fingers at Dwight Howard's performance and Pau Gasol, and it's the defense, as if Kobe has nothing to do with that. And I think it's ridiculous, because from day one when they built this team, Kobe Bryant came out and said, "This is my team." He made it clear that he was going to get his shots up. He had previously told Dwight Howard, "Yeah, if you come to the team, I hope you're ready to be the third option." Kobe ruined this team. He ruined this team. We can talk about D'Antoni. We can talk about Dwight Howard. We can talk about Pau Gasol. It's the Kobe show. There's a reason why he's still up there in the scoring title race, because Kobe cares about Kobe. He's chasing his points, and he ain't playing no damn defense. So you're damn right with Michael Jordan on this team. They're winning a championship. Are you kidding me? With his competitive drive wasn't this competitive drive to come out every night with this insatiable desire to be viewed as the man and to feed his ego. His competitive drive was to do what it took to win. And I'll end my rant with this. There's many different interviews where Michael Jordan said this, and I truly believe, and some people will just gloss over what I'm about to say. I went into some of the details. I could get more detailed, but I truly believe this is why you would see a huge difference between Michael Jordan leading this team and Kobe Bryant leading this team. Michael Jordan's leading this team. His mentality was different than Kobe's. Kobe's mentality is he's a scorer. Michael Jordan's mentality was he was a utility player. A utility player, he said it himself. And then he would describe what he meant when he said he was a utility player. What he meant was that whatever the team was lacking that night, he was coming on the floor to plug that hole. To plug that hole as the utility player of the Bulls. If they were struggling with the rebound, I'm going to get on the boards. If we're struggling defensively, give me the opposing best player. You know, this little misconception that's thrown out there about Scottie Pippen and Magic Johnson, and people try to act like it was always that way. Go to chasing23.com. Look at the article that was written by my friend, The Realist, and he broke that whole myth. Michael Jordan took the opposing best player more nights, more often than not. I mean, when you look at all of the dynamics that would change with Michael Jordan on this team, it's absolute blasphemy. It's absolute blasphemy to not sit back and look at this the way it should be looked at, that you plug Michael Jordan into that team. They are winning a championship. Whoever wants next can go.
I think Michael Jordan obviously played the better defense, and that would make a big impact on this team. But the thing that you mentioned that has really got me thinking here is, does Kobe Bryant really make the players around him better?
No.
And I think the answer is pretty obvious based on how we've seen Dwight Howard's numbers go down and how we've seen Kobe Bryant's scoring numbers stay relatively the same. When we saw LeBron go to the Miami Heat, we saw him take less points, get more assists, work on other parts of his game to make the overall team better, and that's what Kobe Bryant should have been doing in this case. Now, in the case of Michael Jordan, he clearly pretty much every night, night in, night out, made the players around him better, and I think that that's the clear difference, not only because he's going to get the same amount of points or close to the same amount of points as Kobe Bryant's going to get, but he's also going to add in assists because he's not missing as many shots. We talk about this being one of the most efficient years Kobe Bryant has had. He's shooting, I think, 46%. Michael Jordan was shooting almost 45% in his last season with the Washington Wizards. So I'm not all that impressed that Kobe's shooting this way. He has impressed me to a level that he's picked up his shooting percentage at this point in his career. But overall, it was never that impressive to begin with. I think that you plug Michael Jordan in his team, and really, if you plug the two guys that were in the NBA Finals last year, in Kevin Durant and LeBron James, and you would have an NBA championship team.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
I totally agree. And when you talk about Jordan making players better, it is well known how much better Jordan made Scottie from them practicing every day against each other. Could you imagine what Jordan could do with a Earl Clark defensively? What he would have did with a Devin Ebanks defensively? And then just on the court, like Tim said, the efficiency. Kobe doesn't provide the efficiency that would help the team out, neither on the defensive end or the offensive end, let alone he's not a great leader. As you can see, they're having many problems right now, mostly based on Kobe and the way he treats his teammates and the way he refuses to play. At this point, he doesn't add anything to the team, and Jordan would add basically everything to the team. He's a better passer, he's a more efficient scorer, he's a better rebounder, and he's a better defender. He's better than Kobe in every single way.
And I think Kobe Bryant.
You know what, man? It is what it is. I am a Kobe fan. You know what I'm saying? Number 8. I got there, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'll be honest with you. I mean, he's not, like for the point you guys mentioned, he's not better than Jordan. See, the one thing, you know, despite everything that you guys just brought up, the one thing that would really help the team, not just individually, player-wise, of course, it'll even increase his numbers because he gets to play with two very good big men in Dwight Howard and Pau Gasol. You know, obviously their competitive drive would be much greater because you have somebody on their ass every day in practice. I mean, if he punched, you know, Will Perdue in even. I think it was another teammate. I think it might have been Bill Cartwright,
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr. Well, shit, if he punches those guys, he's definitely gonna punch Pau Gasol. He's gonna make Pau Gasol. He's gonna make Pau Gasol into a man. instead of a pussy. You know what I'm saying?
He'd clean Dwight Howard's act up pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
He'd probably knock him out.
Well, here, Brian, let me share a story. Because back when Rodman came to the team, a lot of you young people viewing this video aren't going to remember this. Rodman was a complete failure in San Antonio. He was doing stupid shit off the court, stupid shit on the court. They couldn't wait to get rid of him. I remember watching San Antonio Spurs games where the San Antonio Spurs fans were holding up signs, "Put Rodman in." It fell apart in San Antonio. Nobody wanted to take a chance on him. So Jerry Krause, he went out and got Rodman, and you know what? He figured playing next to Scotty and playing next to Michael that he'd turn it around. Well, Rodman was never a great offensive player. He was gonna defend to a certain degree. He was way past his prime, but he could still rebound with the best of them. So one thing that has always been stated, and it was talked about a lot during the broadcast back then, that Rodman would talk about how, hey man, look, I'm playing next to Michael Jordan. I have to bring the best that I have onto the court every night. And just playing next to Michael Jordan gave these guys a sense of accountability that they felt they had to live up to. And I think you're talking about Dwight Howard, and you're talking about Pau Gasol. Man, MJ, man, he would get so much more out of these guys. It wouldn't even be close. But again, the main problem, the main problem the Lakers have is not offense. The main problem is defense. And Michael Jordan would completely turn that defense around. I'm sorry.
Well, I think the one thing to throw in there is that Michael Jordan was playing under Phil Jackson's system and not Mike D'Antoni's. Now, Michael Jordan would step in and play better defense than Kobe Bryant has this year, but I think that's worth throwing out there. Michael Jordan wasn't playing with Steve Nash, who's basically like setting up a chair on defense and just leaving him in one spot because he's not a very good defender. But he does have Dwight Howard, although I'm not sure Dwight Howard's at 100% right now. He does have Dwight Howard, a 2 or 3 time Defensive Player of the Year. And I think that Michael Jordan would certainly help this team defensively, but there are some other deficiencies that they currently have that I think have contributed to bad team defense this year.
Oh yeah, when you see your team leader, I think it comes back to this for me. You see your team leader out there lackadaisical on the defensive end of the court. These guys are not playing hard. But then you brought up the D'Antoni system. Michael Jordan will play off the ball. They're running stagger sets and screens for Kobe off the ball. Then he catches the ball. All he has to do is shoot it. Sometimes he shoots it. But he'll take the ball. He'll go into the triple threat. He'll wait for his defender to come to him. And then he'll try to take him one-on-one. What are you doing? That makes no sense. Yep. And I'm telling you, Michael Jordan would come down to court. He would look at Steve Nash. He'd go, I'm going to be in the post. Give it to me in the post. He would go post his ass up and get that ball in the post and make shit happen. I'm telling you, man.
Well, see, another thing, man. There's a lot of possessions wasted off of what Kobe. Cause see, Kobe Bryant takes 25 shots a game, 24.
I think it's officially 97, but.
Dude, he wastes at least 30% of his team's possessions per game. And I think, just from a team complex aspect, offensively, with someone like Michael who really approach the game the smart way, those possessions you're going to have more possessions, which means you can have more quality possessions, more quality looks at the basket, which leads to a higher field goal percentage and a higher point total per average per game. And that would just make your whole offense look so much better. Just everything from the field, from a team-oriented standpoint, would elevate.
All right, here you go. All of you guys played sports. Tim, you still playing sports? You're still in school? All right, we've all been on that team with that guy who it could be soccer, it could be basketball, it could be whatever sports you want to name. And we've all been on the team with that guy who, when he gets the ball, he's not giving it up. Right? He gets the ball. In soccer, Tim, you play soccer. I'm sure you played with the guys who, maybe he was a striker, or whatever the case may be. He gets the ball. It don't matter if 3 guys collapse on him, and you're wide open right by the net. He's not giving you that ball. He's going to try to break down those 3 guys by himself, and then he ends up losing the ball. basketball, we've all pick up, I'm sure, but to a higher degree, organized team ball. You've all played with that guy, and you don't want to play with that guy. Nobody wants to play with that guy, and that's why I think it's so important to point out, when you do things within the flow of the team offense, it's different. And we're talking about the highest level of team basketball in the planet. And Kobe Bryant is not good at building that team unity. He's only been a leader of 2 championship teams. That's it. Shaq was the man on the other teams. Shaq's got this gravitating personality where if he even irritates you or whatever, you still want to watch him. Now, Shaq's got that personality, and he worked great as a team leader. Tim Duncan is a great team leader. Kobe Bryant, I've never thought of him as a great team leader. Even when they won those championships, there's an asterisk next to the 2010 championship, the 2009 championship the Orlando Magic laid down in the finals, and it's not like Kobe played at a high level in those series anyway. He was missing shots left and right. Look at the 2010 finals, Game 7. He goes 6 of 24. His teammates bail him out, and this guy gets all the praise in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. This dude, right, he's an anomaly. He's a guy that people love. He's an all-time great and all that, but he is not a great team leader. It's about going out there, making your teammates feel good about themselves. And here's something that Kobe Bryant doesn't do as a team leader that Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan shows his teammates, I trust you with this basketball. I trust you with the ball. I trust you with that last-second shot, Steve Kerr. I trust you with that last-second shot, John Paxson. There was a trust. There was a trust that Jordan built with his teammates. Kobe don't do that. It's absurd.
Yeah.
It's absurd to even think that this is even a discussion.
And the one thing that has always irritated me, and there's many good qualities to watching Kobe Bryant, I don't want anyone to get that wrong, but the one thing that's always irritated me watching his last-second play is you know when he's dribbling up the court that Kobe Bryant is shooting that 3 with 2-3 defenders on him, even when we've had cases where it's been Andrew Bynum, Dwight Howard, whoever, maybe even Pau Gasol, in the post with a mismatch where you only need either a basket to tie or a basket to win the game, and Kobe Bryant's going to jack up a 3 that is not a high percentage shot rather than going to the post where you have a better shot at getting that shot. And I don't know if it's that he doesn't trust his teammates, or if it's just that he wants to get he wants to be a man, or the combination of both. But it doesn't work.
That's what it is. You just named what it is. You just named what it is.
There's 2 things that he does.
Kobe cares about Kobe. Kobe cares about Kobe.
And there's a level of that that's okay. When you're the star and you have other guys on your team that you don't trust as much, that's one thing. But when you're talking about playing with guys like Dwight Howard, who's a future Hall of Famer, one of the best players in the NBA, I think when he's healthy, he's probably the second or third best player in the NBA. Third, actually, on LeBron and Kobe, or LeBron and Durant. But I think that when you're playing with guys like that, you don't have an excuse to sometimes not give up that last shot. If you're taking those type of shots once in a while, that's one thing. But when you're consistently doing it, the defenders know when you're coming up the court that there's absolutely no chance you're giving up that ball. It does not help your team win the game. And it overall is just not a good formula for winning, because whether your teammates think that you don't trust them or you just want to take that shot, it pisses them off.
Absolutely. It makes you feel like this dude don't trust me. And then the collapse that you see this year, I predicted this would happen in the preseason. Okay? And one thing that I want to point out is those of you out there looking at me like right now, you're flipping off your computer screen. I'm naming basketball reasons. I am naming basketball reasons. Okay? I mean, I got a synopsis of what went on First Take today. It didn't sound to me like they were naming many basketball reasons. There was revisionist history. Yeah, there was revisionist history. You know, Stephen A. Smith, this guy's got his head. This dude, I'd like to see a picture of it because I'm sure it happens every time he meets Kobe. He runs behind Kobe, pulls Kobe's pants down, he opens up Kobe. His suit and tie and all, he squirts right up Kobe's fucking ass. And Skip, people were like, oh, Skip Bayless said Michael Jordan would win a championship with him. It doesn't sound to me like he gave basketball reasons. Now, I haven't seen it. and I don't want to see it. I just went off what people have said, and this is not really a response to them. What I'm saying is, when you hear people break something like this down, listen to see if they're giving you basketball reasons like I did. Are they giving you basketball reasons, yes or no?
No, and the argument you always hear is Kobe Bryant, 5 rings. That's great. He's been a huge part of those teams. But Kobe Bryant, 5 rings does not equate to them fixing things in 2013.
No. Matt Genius, you were trying to say something.
Well, the fact is, I mean, Kobe, there's 2 things Kobe does, and that's, 1, turn people into shells of what they used to be, and he stops player growth. Those are 2 well-known things that he does. I mean, you look at Pau Gasol, you look at Dwight Howard, you look at the other, Lamar Odom, Caron Butler.
Andrew Bynum.
You could go down the list. Even Smush Parker was better without Kobe. Andrew Bynum. He turns players into shells of what they used to be, and then he stunts young players' growth. I mean, there's no way to win a
Man, Genius, let's call this out right now. Let's call this out right now, because you and I have talked about this while watching Laker games. Kobe Bryant completely blows his assignment on defense. This happens 4 or 5 times a game.
Oh.
And then he'll turn around and start looking at his teammates. I am telling you that I would not want to play defense next to that guy. I would. I would say trade.
He always says we. He always just says we. He doesn't say I need to do this better. I need to do that better. He says we need to do this better. They need to do this better. Like, he never takes accountability for what he does.
And we were ridiculous. And go ahead, Brian.
I just wanted to point this out, man. He was the dude that wanted Andrew Bynum for fucking chasing that old ass kid back in the day, man. Are you? I mean, if we see what type of player that, I mean, of course, Bynum's injury prone and everything, but why would you want to mortgage your future for an aging point guard? I mean, what the fuck's wrong with you? You know what Kobe said?
It's not about the future with Kobe. It's about
team more shot at team because I know he else to jack up the other shot. That's all it is. I mean, which is okay. I mean, everybody, you got to be selfish in this life, you know, especially when you're in that level. But I mean, I question your drive in you know, inspiration to aspirations of winning when you do that shit. It is what it is, man. If you're a fan of Kobe and you can't be real with yourself and come to that conclusion, then you're stupid, man. It is what it is. Because he's basically telegraphing the information. He's telegraphing the information to you. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man, Genius, you were going to say something?
I predict.
No, I was just agreeing with Brian was saying.
Oh, okay, I'll jump in. I think that a couple years ago when we saw LeBron James join with the Heat, when we talk about Michael Jordan's history, and when people like to shit on the history of either of those guys, they'll say, well, he had player A and player B on his team, or Michael Jordan had player A, Hall of Famer A, Hall of Famer B, whatever. If you look around the team that Kobe Bryant is currently failing with, and it isn't singularly Kobe Bryant, but when we talk about player legacies, we have done this to other players where we've been unfair and tried to act like they were the only players on those teams in the past. Kobe Bryant is playing with Dwight Howard, who, if his career continues the way it is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Steve Nash, who's one of the better point guards in NBA history. You have Ron Artest, who's obviously not in his prime, but he has been one of the better defenders over the last 10 years, whether you like him or not. Pau Gasol. We didn't make excuses, but I hear people make excuses like, well, Kobe's asked to guard their best player and then go drop 40 a night. That's not fair. Well, Kevin Durant was asked to go guard LeBron James in the NBA Finals, which was a clear mismatch and didn't work last year, but he still did it. He still went out there and dropped 40. And I just think that sometimes we make unfair excuses for Kobe Bryant, a lot of times, that in reality we wouldn't do it for other people.
And that's why I do what I do. I'm sick and tired of it. I am sick and tired of the Kobe thing. You know, and I'm not talking about Kobe himself. I'm talking about the people out there who are so damn unrealistic about it. You bring up Kevin Durant, okay, first of all, you brought up Steve Nash. Steve Nash has not had an opportunity to really run that team. I guarantee you, people, Kobe Bryant had to sit down for a couple games because he turned an ankle. You would see exactly what I'm saying with Steve Nash running the team. but because I've seen it. There's like stretches of plays, and Matt Genius, you're a Laker fan. You watch all the Laker games. You guys try to watch as many as you can. You've seen it where Steve Nash gets the ball and he gets to run the offense, and it just looks better when he gets to go through a stretch of running the offense. And he brought up Dwight Howard. Let me bring up this thing with Dwight. Let me say this about Dwight Howard, though, Brian. Kobe Bryant was starting to shoot with Dwight Howard before he even came to the team. He was starting to shoot with Dwight Howard before he even came to the fucking team. He's talking about, oh, yeah, you better be ready to be the third option. Then Dwight Howard gets there. It's my team. You know, Kobe Bryant was hell-bent on starting shit with Dwight Howard, which is like lighting a powder keg, because Dwight Howard's a little different anyway. But then, one more thing. You bring up Kevin Durant, Tim. Kevin Durant puts up some... You know how Kevin Durant does it? He does it in the flow of the offense. Yeah. You don't see Kevin Durant out there chucking. I don't consider what he does chucking. Every once in a while he will, but he puts it up in the flow of an offense. Ibaka still gets those little baseline and elbow jumpers. Russell Westbrook's allowed to still be aggressive. Kevin Martin gets in the game and gets his shots. He's willing to dump it down to Kendrick Perkins on the weak side of a double team, even though Kendrick Perkins is about to fumble the ball out of bounds. Kevin Durant is a much better team leader than Kobe Bryant. Forget about even putting Michael Jordan on that team. Put LeBron James or Kevin Durant on that team. They'd be at least third in the Western Conference.
And I think at the end of this season, people have talked about how the Lakers just need a year to gel, come back next year, they'll be fine. I think Pau Gasol is gone, and quite honestly, I don't see a reason if I'm Dwight Howard why I would stay there and not go to a younger team like Brooklyn or wherever. Obviously, that's the place where he's always wanted to go, whether he wanted to go to Atlanta, his hometown, maybe Boston, whatever. He has an opportunity to really be that, at the very least, 1A, 1B type situation where, yeah, you're playing with another star, but you're going to have the opportunity to get yours and still be the guy. And it isn't that Kobe Bryant's been the only reason why this team has struggled this year, but he's put this team in a situation where they aren't going to be able to have the same success, or they aren't going to be able to do what the Miami Heat did and come back in the second year and improve on what didn't work the first year, because they're not doing things now that are setting them up to improve, and they're not going to have the opportunity next year because it's going to be a completely new core. And then I'm sure as soon as Dwight Howard's gone, as soon as Pau Gasol's gone, we'll have that revisionist history where we'll say, get Kobe help, he needs help. He has help right now, and he's not making the best of it.
No. And Pau Gasol expects to be traded.
Oh, of course. Yep. I mean, and then last year when Kobe had the shin injury, we seen the Lakers play better. Ron Artest was balling his ass off, and they actually, they were actually winning games. And then Kobe comes back, and everything just dies down. But when Kobe's not on the court, the ball moves around. Plain and simple, the ball moves around. That's all you need out of him on offense. Move the ball around and play in the floor of the offense. Nobody can name a player that Kobe has made better in his career. Nobody. I can't name one player.
I can't.
Who?
Lamar Odom.
Maybe the guy he's defended. No, the only players.
I'll explain this. I explained this last night on the podcast. When Lamar Odom came to the Lakers, he was struggling, and Phil Jackson realized that Lamar Odom was a guy who needed the ball in his hands. So he put Lamar Odom on the bench. Why did Phil Jackson put Lamar Odom on the bench? Have him come off as a sixth man, so he could use the ball, so he could have the ball, because then he wasn't playing next to Kobe Bryant. When he was coming off the bench, he actually had the ball in his hands. Oh yeah, Brian. That's what's up, Brian. You take that. These are stitched too, authentic. You can take that Kobe jersey and go throw it away.
Better tell him, Bruce. Yeah. Better tell him, man. You got to add a Jordan hoodie on.
There you go. Oh, Matt Genius. Now they're going to be questioning if you're a real Laker fan. Oh. No, there's a lot of Laker fans pissed off at Kobe Bryant. I'll tell you right now.
Oh yeah, the only person he makes better is the guy he's defending. That's the only person. We seen Marcus Thornton go. Marcus Thornton was just giving him buckets last year.
Oh, Marcus Thornton.
He gave Kobe buckets.
That short 6'3" bum. scoring on Kobe.
Yeah. Oh, it happens every night. Okay, let's get our final words in. Let's start with Brian. Give us your final word on this.
The moral to this story, man, is Kobe Bryant is overrated. He doesn't play no defense, and he's a team killer, and he's a shot chucking, scumbag.
Wow! I didn't expect that from Brian. Brian is usually...
I like scumbags. I like scumbags, though.
Oh, okay. All right. That's why you're a Pete Carroll fan. Oh, we'll save that for another video. I'll save that for another video. All right, Matt Genius, final word.
I'm starting a movement. Hashtag save Powell. Hashtag Powell deserves better. Kobe needs to retire. The Kupchaks need to go. The Buss family needs to go. D'Antoni needs to go. Trade Dwight Howard because he's not re-signing, so we need to get something in return. But our future is bleak for the next 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Tim, final word.
Kobe Bryant's done some great things in his time in LA, but I think that the bottom line is right now we are seeing not only is the Kobe Jordan debate dead, and to me it never existed, but we're seeing that maybe we need to go back and reevaluate even the Kobe LeBron debate, the Kobe Durant debate, which is kind of going to be difficult because they didn't play as much. They're not going to end up playing as much at the same time. But I think overall, I look at Kobe Bryant, as I always have, as a top 15 or top 20 player who got his, played a great career, was a part of some great teams. But overall, if you want to put him in the same discussion as Michael Jordan, just because he tries to play a similar style and make similar gestures, I'm just not buying it.
Oh, man. Oh, that was music to my freaking ears right there. Woo! These headphones are on fire right now. That was great, Tim. All right, I'll tell you this. People constantly, we got a, Brian he's got a military drill going on over his head. But no, people constantly overrate Kobe, and I'm telling you, he's not a great leader. He was a sidekick for those first 3 championships, and Phil Jackson did a great job giving all those players a defined role for the second 2 championships. It's not just Kobe Bryant's fault that this team's falling apart, but he plays a huge role in it, a huge role. And people who think that, I'll say this, anyone out there who doesn't think Michael Jordan would lead this team to a championship, get your freaking heads checked. And Kobe Bryant, he ain't Michael Jordan.